Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, as we are about halfway through-ish Group A and figuring out who is going to be able to take those top spots moving forwards. Joining me on the desk, we do have Mr. Maynard and Pig, so the good old Aussies join us for some great top bants, as we have a few series going on.
We have to do bants now? I wasn't intending to do bants.
No, because I was never any good at bants in StarCraft anyway.
Well, that's good.
So, that's fine. That's fine. So, what do we have going on? Currently, you are watching Marine vs. Snoot, correct?
Yeah, here Marine vs. Snoot's just started, so nothing to talk about at all, really. It's early game TVZ. It's 50 seconds in. So.
Yeah, and then likewise over on the other side, you will eventually have Solar versus ryung, which hasn't started at all. So we need to talk about herO versus ByuN coming up now here on the main stage. herO having a bit of a rough time there against ryung, to say the least. Can he make a better showing against ByuN coming up is the question.
That game one was a little bit shaky, wasn't it? I mean, it looked like everything was going herO's way. The Marine push from ryung didn't work out, so I think that's a big confidence hit for herO, but at the same time, he's a player who plays very aggressively. Sometimes a lead will slip away from him. I think his real kind of challenge now is to stay confident, to stay calm and focused going into the next matches. And against ByuN, it's going to be tough. You know, his strength, herO here, has been Phoenixes, it's been Adepts, it's been aggressive play. At a certain point, these Terran players do know what's coming. So, I mean, we're going to have to see exactly what herO does to change things up and to throw off those expectations. Yeah,
there were some shaky games from herO versus ryung. I think if he tightens the reins a little bit, he might have a fighting chance. But honestly, if his games look anything like versus ryung, he is absolutely not going to beat ByuN. ByuN is someone I'd rate a lot higher in TvP than ryung for sure.
Right.
But that said, though, I'm learning really how good ryung is on the fly here at this tournament. He's actually shattering a lot of expectations here. It's not just mine.
I think glimmers of greatness for him in GSL for ryung, going up to the top 4, and now like with that potential in the top 4, and now here at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Oh boy, does he look great! But there he is. There is our current reigning world champion in ByuN. And oh boy, did he have a good year last year. So what do we make of it, guys? You know, since he got his first place in BlizzCon, since, you know, he took first place at WCA as well at the end of 2016, some of the results other than that have been a little bit sporadic, not quite doing as well, say for example at Intel Extreme Masters Gyeonggi.
Yeah.
What do we make of his position?
A few ups and downs, but let's remember, when you reach that pinnacle in StarCraft, there is a target on your back, and that really is something which happened for ByuN. So for him to lose, you know, one day in GSL, for him to barely get knocked out in a 2-3 loss to, I believe it was Dark in Gyeonggi, like, these are really close matches against the best players in the world. ByuN still definitely has some magic in his play, but he is definitely not quite as consistent as he was at the end of 2016. So for him, this is a big opportunity. There's a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of pride. And TvP is a very interesting matchup because not so long ago, we were saying, you know, the Terran players looking very good, very favored in it. But even before the Liberator nerf, herO is one of these Protoss players who just kind of completely defied that expectation because he'd always find these very unique ways to get under the Terran player's skin.
Maynard, got to ask you from your Terran perspective, your point of view, what kind of things can ByuN bring to the table here against herO?
He has a whole bag of trips against herO. Now, both of these players can be aggressive. ByuN is a guy that will also, you know, Reaper rush and that kind of thing. He's a little bit crazy like that. So he does have, you know, a pretty decent bag of tricks, and he is the champ. All of these things kind of going for him against herO. herO's been rising. I feel like even though ByuN's had a couple shaky results, I still feel like he's way up there. I watch him ladder all the time. He streams quite a lot, and he looks incredible against the top 20 or so Protosses in Korea. So, and herO is definitely one of them.
Well, as you can see, just getting ready for his game here is ByuN. Likewise, herO. This feels like he's been in that booth all morning, and he has. So he's getting himself accustomed to his surroundings. Likewise,
everyone wants to see these herO matches. I know. You know, I really kind of tipped herO to potentially just win this group in first place, but he has had a slower start than he would have needed. He's got a very explosive style though, and these players are all very closely matched, so it could still turn.
Yeah. I think it's the funny thing about that is that likewise, when I look at this group in, I think, oh yeah, herO's going to do pretty well here. But I think it's not only, you know, some of the Korean Terrans that are very, very powerful, but it's also people like herO Marine, who won his first series against Solar, which comes in as someone who is a complete wild card into this group, but is able to take that victory so early on. So I think the group's a whole lot closer than we ever expected going in. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. That herO Marine win is just a huge surprise. It was funny because me and Maynard were getting, you know, ready to cast that. You guys were talking on the desk, and we could watch the match, and I was like, he's up 20 supply. He's up 40 supply. What's happening? Is herO Marine actually? And I kept kind of saying to myself, like, oh, you know, herO Marine's a good macro player, but is he really going to be able to close this out? And then it was flawless the way he was closing out those matches.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of fans are going to be very excited when those replays get released.
All right. So I think you may have updates. I think your first game just finished. Did it, Pig? Or
no, we're still just getting that hosted up.
Oh, you're still about to get into it?
Yeah, I've just been having a bit of back and forth with Solar organizing the lobby.
All right. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll get into those games later on. For now, though, we're going to head over to the commentary desk to find out what's going to happen here between ByuN, our current reigning world champion, and, of course, Mr. Root herO.
Artles, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, Tastacles. I lost my voice a little bit.
Yeah.
From that other casting. I actually had a sore throat when I
first got
to a little bit of a cold, but the sore throat went away, and now my voice is a little bit lost. I don't know.
But I'm hard to not be sick when there's games like these coming here, man. Sickest games coming up for you guys
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, no problem. Look, this match we got coming up could be the best match of the day. I think a lot of people are super excited about this one.
Yeah, I would say so, except for how badly ryung is crushing everyone. I'm just like, wow, I know he's good, but...
I want to call this right here. I think ryung might win this GSL, actually. I've been watching how good he is. It's crazy. He might win this tournament as well, but... on into this game. Guys, tell your friends to join us here at the Intel Extreme Masters in the upper left. In the red, he is ByuN. In the upper right, in the blue, he is herO.
All right, Tasteless.
Articles.
You can't just copy that. Tasteless McTosis, what's up? Yeah, what do you think about this match? Who wins?
I think ByuN's supposed to win, right? I think that's what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
ByuN's been playing obviously very well lately. You know, I'm expecting him to come out on top. But here's the thing: is herO is a tricky player to play against. He's always coming into a game with a very specific plan. He's always able to offset his opponent. There's going to be some key moment in any game against herO where you have to survive this one moment or you're going to be out, because he's got some crazy timing attack coming up here. I feel like ByuN is somebody who doesn't come into the game with a very tailored strategy. I think we're seeing it right here. So he's going to put a pylon here. ByuN comes into the game basically attempting to become bigger, faster, stronger as the game progresses.
Yeah.
And eventually, if the game's long enough, he just has more stuff and runs you over. But
so what you're saying is that like ByuN is basically like a quick draw shooter from the Wild West.
Yes.
And,
yes.
He's here to stop herO, who has an elaborate plan to rob the bank.
Basically, yeah, something like that. I would say herO's like a quick draw shooter and ByuN is RoboCop or something like that.
RoboCop. Okay.
RoboCop,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Glad we're here. Glad we're here to give you guys this analysis. We got a Stargate on the way over here in the center left.
Yeah, and he's made a Zealot as well. Mothership 4 going to be trailing right behind. The Zealot is going the right direction, but the probe is not. He needs a probe up there for an offensive pylon. It's so important, but this Reaper is going to find it.
Okay, so he does manage to take out that first probe. It is out of the picture. Stargate nearly finishing. Now, I would expect that ByuN would have a hunch that herO's doing something like this. You know, the more games we get of herO, the more clear it is that herO is always coming to the game with some kind of a plan like this. So, can ByuN hold this? It's really going to come down to the control, I think. Not so much knowing, you know, being aware that he might be doing this, but, you know, do you have the kind of micro that can actually give you a win?
Well, the Zealot has actually stopped the construction of this CC, so that's really important. Probe is on the way. The Reaper didn't stop it, so oh my god.
Coming up. Pylon's going to go down right over here. He'll be able to get that reactor as well as the 2 depots. Here comes the mothership core shifting over here to the left side of the map. CC has been canceled.
Yeah, great move here by herO. He is so good at these types of rushes, and with that pylon, he's going to be able to break down this whole wall at least. An Oracle on the way as well that has not been scouted yet.
Here we go.
Oh my God.
Coming up into the main, the SCVs under fire. The Marines and the Cyclone not in position. 2, 3, and 4 SCVs go down. Meanwhile, the reactor has been taken out. herO really keeping the pressure on ByuN.
God, he's killing so many depots, but I guess almost luckily for ByuN, he's lost so many SCVs, he doesn't even need them right now. Finally starting to push us back. Even a pylon on the high ground from herO.
Yeah. Looks like the probe actually manages to survive. Mothership core edges in. Is he going to be able to get this pylon to finish? It looks like it should go down, but as that happens, the Oracles move in. SCVs are going to be massacred once again.
Oh my God, 2 Oracles flying and killing so many SCVs so quickly here.
This is a really good strat, man. Yeah, I'm loving this.
He's been insanely bruised, but hold on, there's a Reaper over here.
Oh!
2 kills, not too bad.
Yeah, that's at least something. That might draw some of the Protoss units back over here. I don't think it's going to be enough to even this game out, so to speak.
Yeah, and in fact, herO's even going for an all-in. He's making a Void Rays, adding 2 gates, no Nexus on the way. So that's a little bit crazy, but at least ByuN kind of knows that that's happening.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was going to say, the fact that he sees that is possibly, at least in a situation like this, the best thing that ByuN could have done. He at least knows this impending doom of a possible end to this game coming from herO if ByuN cannot stabilize. So every unit, even every little Marine at this point in time, so valuable. Good tag there too. Because when you're doing it all in like this, a lot of it really does come down to positioning, not unit composition.
Very much so, but look, did he already take too much damage? Is there actually a chance that he can hold on? Very nice Widow Mine right there to try to keep everything back. That hasn't been tagged. Of course, Void Rays can deal with that pretty easily, but the amount of damage that herO's already done this game is pretty darn high.
Look, he's done a really good job. Let's see, does he trigger the Widow Mine? Oh!
That's so big.
Really nicely done. And of course, the one remaining Oracle is the one that has, I think, what, like 15 HP or something like that?
Yeah, it's got like almost nothing left here.
So the Oracles, of course, very helpful when you're doing this specific all-in because the amount of damage they do can cause the game to snowball if the Terran doesn't target correctly and micro properly. So we have this Adept peeking in here with a canceled Shade. Meanwhile, a Cyclone drop. Now, sometimes when someone's all-in you, the best thing you can do is try to drop them.
Yeah, he's not really going to have units at home, and 2 Cyclones kill everything in the Protoss space so quickly. I don't think he even has a Mothership core back there, but I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, it's actually going across the map at the moment.
Wait, I'm sorry. Where's the dropship now? Oh, there it is. There it is. It's actually in the main. Okay.
No, he really needed that Mothership core to not be coming with the rest of his army. Might have been an F2 type of move, but he's going for it. Tasteless looks like we're going to do a base trade.
He's coming in. The Void Ray's doing so much damage here. The Stalker's still being microed back. Basically, just SCVs remain.
Oh, great SCV micro here, stopping those Stalkers for so long, dealing lots of extra damage, but I don't think it's going to end up being enough here,
Yeah, I think this is too much. The one remaining Viking will probably not be enough as herO is on top of his micro in this game. It lands, Marines come out. He is pushing these Stalkers down here to the south. So many SCVs bruised, and a warp back home.
Wow, he does have to warp back home, but where are his probes? Not mining for the time being, and in fact, the Nexus almost going down. Finally going to send them back to mine, and this is the type of game that I envision against herYoung, but it looks like he's pulled out here against ByuN.
These guys have both taken so much damage. I feel like I'm watching a brawl where people are like in casts and neck braces and they're still punching each other. This is
one of those Family Guy fights where Peter goes after the chicken.
The chicken, right? Because he gave him a bad coupon. Guys, herO gave ByuN a bad coupon.
Oh, man.
And this is an action-packed game we got going on. Almost an interception here. He's got to be careful.
So huge.
It's not easy for the Stalkers to engage the Cyclones. Okay, no, excuse me. He's actually coming in here on the right side, too. So one Cyclone goes down, picks up. Can he boost away? This medevac is so low.
Yeah, that was so low. Very scary moment right there. herO's still trying to stalk it down. With Stalkers, nonetheless. Kind of interesting, but...
Oh, Artosis.
They call them Stalkers for nothing, Tasteless.
Wow, this has been a really back and forth game. Now, even though the medevac's low and there's a Cyclone in here, it's still a threat to Protoss. I mean, Cyclones deal damage so much faster than almost anything else, and denied!
Wow.
herO might be able to clinch the win with that play just there.
It's a big play. I do believe ByuN did see right there that there's no expansion still.
Yeah.
So that's actually really important because with siege tanks being made, you're not going to break through that, right?
I'm not even sure who's supposed to expand first in this situation.
Well, it's like a game of chicken. The thing is, Terrans win that because they're building flies. You can't lift off a Nexus, Tasteless.
That's true.
No matter how many Phoenixes you have, you can never pick it up.
One day. In the next patch, maybe.
I hope so.
Okay, so he peeks out here. Some pressure right now for herO. He ideally wanted to end this game a while ago.
Do you see this Viking play? This is so sick.
He's gonna land it back there, right?
Yeah, he could, and he's poking the... Oh my god.
Watching a Viking try to run away from a pylon cannon is pretty hilarious, by the way. Okay, I think well handled there by herO. It is 3 probes killed. Worker count right now, this might be the most important part of this game, 24-20, with ByuN in a little bit of a lead, and of course he has mules on his side.
Did you see that?
That is so sick.
The natural, and herO took the third.
Oh, I love that.
Is this herO or this SOS?
This is so good.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to think, Terran's on one command center, right? They don't have that many scans, right? So you pretty much know where Terran's going to be scanning every time as he's trying to gauge what Protoss is up to. But to make the Nexus there, first of all, it's not at the natural, so he'll probably not see it, but then it's not too far away. It's like he made it in another main where there's going to be lost mining time during the probe transfer. This is so sick.
Yeah, this is such a smart move coming out of him right now. I love the way herO's playing, and in fact, he's going for a Twilight. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get to DT tech, because that's like a winning move in such a low econ game, right? So anyways, a big Marine drop coming into the main base.
A drop over here. He picks up micros away from the pylon cannon. One adept here. The Mothership Core beginning to take some damage. He needs to cover these probes and cover them well.
Another overcharge goes down, but he just doesn't have anything placed well enough here to really stop it. The ByuN micron that's dropped fantastically at the moment.
He's doing a really good job. Right now, herO had 29 probes. This expansion not going to be that handy if he doesn't have any workers here to cover it. Mothership Core getting low. Stalkers coming back up, but a good pickup from ByuN does not overstay his visit inside herO's main, and that means there's going to be an opportunity for yet another drop coming up here.
ByuN is dealing with everything herO's thrown at him so well, with such class. It's crazy. Like, the harassment has sent him back home here once again. ByuN is finally making his command center again, and with this many siege tanks, this is like an army that adepts aren't going to beat, man. He's getting glaives, but I know that's all the rage with Protoss right now, but that's like 5 siege tanks.
Dude, this is a great game we got to cast to start things off here in day 3 of the Intel Extreme Masters. This is like the quintessential good StarCraft II game here. Both these guys doing these crazy builds. So many workers have been lost. They're struggling to even get their second base up and running. The mind games are crazy. I'm absolutely loving this. Now he scans again. He doesn't see a Nexus. So he's assuming that Protoss is struggling on one base, which may make Terran actually move that command center even later.
Yeah.
Because Terran's thinking, well, I'm almost dead. By the way, he's almost mined out.
He's making ravens.
He's making ravens so sad. This is so good.
Oh my God, that's just crazy.
That is crazy, man. Okay, so he's getting these ravens. He's operating on a very small army where every unit needs to synergize with the other unit, and I think the Raven is a great choice in a moment like that. And also to even just gun down things like observers and anything else. Now, I don't think he's going to jump in here. Oh my God. What? Wait, what? What?
Well, some turrets coming down right now. This is a ton of damage. The Adept's actually doing a relatively good job.
Okay, he's coming in. I actually really did not expect him to actually attack in here, so I almost didn't acknowledge the shades when they were coming up, and then he unloaded it right here, right now.
Well, he's going to end up losing absolutely everything in here. The Stalker's not going to be able to get away. Where does herO go from here?
I think the herO is playing an incredible game. I think up until that point, I thought that was a bit needless to suddenly shade in like that, especially with the unknown Nexus that was over there. I think herO got himself strategically in not a bad position. It wasn't like a winning one, but it wasn't a bad spot to be in. You could definitely use what you have as tools to engineer some kind of a win down the road, but I think throwing his army in there like that was a mistake. I think he should have been relying on counterattacking.
I think he's starting to get a little bit scared with this kind of huge siege tank amount. It's like, what are you supposed to do to actually kill this army? I guess he got rid of 3 of them. He killed some of the Marines, but to kind of describe the bad spot he's in, he just started a Dark Shrine and then he canceled it even. Because I was like, why is he making a Dark Shrine? There's literally a Raven there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it looks like he did end up canceling that off and is just adding gateways. I guess it's time for Mass Adepts, but Tank Banshee I think that'll do all right against him.
I think he'll be okay against something like that. He's going to continue to shade in here. Now, we don't have any defense, by the way, in the main, correct? This Banshee coming over there in the north.
It's like this one mothership core that has been stretched so thin this game.
It's crazy, man. Banshee now coming down here. Can we do a vision check, if possible, to see if he's actually seen this additional Nexus over here? I guess we're not going to get that, but let's go ahead and see, like, down the road if he actually sends his Banshee over there, because there's actually a third base being taken. Meanwhile, these Adepts coming in and taking out so many of these SCVs.
Yeah, the Banshee looks like it's now going to that expansion of herO, so he definitely knows at this point, at least, those Adepts shade out. They did okay damage, but definitely took some bruising.
Look at this other Nexus here. What a good location to hide another base.
God, he's turning into like a refugee style of Protoss, because I think he realizes that he can maybe slow this all down by shading in and stuff and doing light harassments, but when ByuN brings all of his forces against him, he shouldn't be able to live against that.
The Adepts shade ahead here. It's not going to make this Terran army turn around. You know, there is the inevitable threat of Terran finally pushing out and hitting all these different bases, and granted the bases are stretched out pretty far. It's not going to be easy. With Banshees in play, like we're seeing right here, he can actually run this Banshee all over the place, hitting workers, and Protoss might be not have the right unit comp to defend a Banshee harass and a push like we're seeing right now.
Right now, that +1 attack still in the way. Stim just now finishing. So with those medevacs, we have all these unupgraded Protoss units, and the army is not even like, what do we even call this army? It's mostly Adepts, but enough Stalkers to kill a Banshee.
He's going Phoenix Adept, but no Phoenixes here.
Yeah.
Is what this game is starting to look like. And, you know, Adepts are very strong, especially early on, but you need to have other units to combo with them, or they do just get gunned down, especially with these Marines having Stim like we see right here.
Oh my God. And herO is just about out of his bag of tricks here.
Look at this.
He comes up with a few other units, brings in his Oracle, but like he's out of gas, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he has a lot of gas. He has like over 600 gas, but that's because he's only making Adepts.
Yes. Metaphorically, he is out of gas, though. I think you're right.
He's running on fumes. There you go.
He's coming down right now. There's 5 tanks for this army, a good amount of Marines, and Banshees are continuing to be produced. So I just feel like, especially with some of the losses that herO's had in these fights, he just doesn't have that critical mass. Again, another scan here.
He's like, you're not going to take a third? He's like, oh, I did, but in a very weird spot.
This is definitely something that a lot of other players could learn from. The way that herO's playing this is that ByuN is still a little bit confused about what's been going on this game, because the expanding patterns have been so weird there from herO.
Okay, another set of Adepts getting caught out in the open, trying to do a counterattack, but ByuN a little bit too on top of it. They shade through, but just kind of going towards the middle of the map.
Terran might actually not opt to try to wipe out the expansions. He might just go in the main. That's probably easier and more efficient to kill the Protoss than trying to run around and stamp out bases.
Yeah, there's not like an army here. Oh my God, he's gonna. I thought he was gonna let that finish.
No, I thought the same thing. Here we go. I would have gone with a Guardian Shield. In this situation than one force field there, but he's coming in now and hitting this base. I just don't think Protoss can get enough, and in fact, this army's going to be zoned out of the main, so Terran might be able to actually run from. Hold up. He's actually shading in here. This is just too much. I think that's going to be it. GG. Nicely done there by ByuN, but I got to hand it to herO. That was a really cool strategy.
Yeah, he did a lot of damage early on, but ByuN just sat there and continually made siege tanks so that herO could not end up breaking him. Like, Adept type of plays doesn't do that well against siege tanks.
It was truly a story of RTS good versus evil back there.
Oh, yes.
One guy proxying, and the other guy saying, I'm just going to keep defending and scouting.
Yeah.
And become a virtue nerd and win the game.
A virtue nerd.
That's right.
That expansion that he took as well, ByuN was so thrown off. He's like, what? You're not going to expand ever? Like, you're going to run out of minerals. You know that. Your Nexus doesn't fly. You know that, right?
Really great game. Let's go ahead and see how Kalaris and the boys are doing at the analysis desk, and let's get some updates. How's it going, guys?
Going good, thank you. Indeed, we do have a few games that were going on the desk while that was occurring. Pig, we're going to check in with you first, as you did have Solar versus ryung, currently 1-0 to ryung, I believe.
Yeah, a bit of a speedling flood is what we're going to jump into game right away to see. ryung defended a proxy hatch Ravager Rush into Burrowed Infestor. Mad, crazy game, game one. ryung weathered the storm of the craziness Solar was throwing his way, but now can he hold on against this Speedling Rush? That command center is so close to going down.
Oh my God.
But Solar gets to cancel. He's up a few workers, and that's a huge win to start out game number 2.
Well, thank you very much for the update. Indeed, we'll keep on with that later on down the line. Maynard, you were covering Marine versus Snoot game 1, and Marine, I believe, 1 game up.
Here, Marine is 1 game up, but Snoot did not make it easy. Game 1 on Newkirk Precinct was an absolute blockbuster. It went for about 20-something minutes. We saw Ghosts, we saw Ultras, we saw Broodlords. He actually opened with Raven Corvid Reactor opening, so it's a pretty interesting, unique way of playing TvZ.
Yeah.
You get a lot of that extra Raven energy. You harass with turrets and just try and take efficient engagements. And oh man, I wish that game was on stream because it was a huge one.
Yeah, a blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
I'm stealing that from you. That's going to be great. All right, so thank you very much, gents. We'll check in with you later on. For now, though, we do go back to game number 2 here between herO and ByuN to find out who's going to be victorious.
Arfucius, it's time to go to game number 2. herO is playing just like herO. But when ByuN plays just like ByuN, it seems like it doesn't work.
Oh my God.
Against
who are they supposed to play like?
I don't know. I think the strat that herO was doing in game 1 was really good, but herO mechanically is too good, and he's just able to sustain for too long in a game like that.
That was a tough one. Will herO go like totally balls the wall aggressive again? I don't know. Belshir Vestige going to be our second
I don't
map.
think we can be shocked if he does do something like that. It looks like our game is now loaded up. ByuN right now with a 1-0 lead against herO in what's so far been a fantastic series. In the upper left, in the red, he is ByuN. And his opponent here in the bottom right in the blue, he is herO.
That was kind of a crazy game back there. Had a lot of good games so
that was the
far.
best game that I've got to cast this whole tournament so far. I really enjoyed it. I think that herO, there were points in time where herO could have played a little bit better, especially when he got an expansion before Terran, and then Terran expanded, he just like ran up there and shaded in everything, and I thought, I don't think this ever works actually, just based on how a game like this is going. I think you're better off utilizing that hidden second base and throwing Terran's psychological tempo off, because Terran's assuming that he just stays on 2 bases and kind of watches for when you expand and then attacks you. You know what I mean? But I gotta say, herO has really been refining his craft throughout his StarCraft II career, because it was a really smart strategy. We don't normally get games that get that insanely strategically in depth.
Well, that's what he's so good at. The problem is, no matter how much damage you do to ByuN, where there's a Marine, there's a way. It's just he's like a Marine King Prime that actually wins games that he gets so far behind in. His buildings might be burning, but ByuN's micro is second to none.
Well, you can especially see with ByuN, with the Marines and Marauders, when this guy gets stim, he kills so much more than other Terran players do. It's truly scary. His micro is so on key. The thing is, herO has that too, but his tech was just non-existent at the end of that game. Well, let's see what herO has in store for us. He's definitely playing a more traditional StarCraft II game here. Just getting expansion up, and now going to go ahead and tech to that Stargate. herO's definitely one of the players that really does highlight the power of oracles, by the way. Not just with his harass, but he's always on top of tagging.
Yeah, he certainly is, and even we've seen some cool stasis ward plays as well.
Especially against somebody like ByuN or let's say TY, for instance. I don't think we really get to talk about this as much, but if you're like one of these really good Protoss players that can go in there and tag the first 2 medevacs right when they come out, and you can kind of sense the timing of when that should be there, you are in such good shape. If you could just continuously tag medevacs over and over again, you're not going to be beat up by drop play.
You're never going to get dropped.
I think most Protoss players would agree with me, but I think that's the scariest part about Terran, is drops coming every
Oh, yeah.
It's
especially on this map.
Oh, yeah.
Like, your main base is so wide open, and by the time you take your third, there's just this huge area that they can attack you on.
We have this Reaper coming in over here. We can see the probes are trying to block the Reaper from coming up onto the high ground. This is a bit of a problem here for herO. Already 2 probes have been picked up, but meanwhile, Adept's coming in here and hitting that SCV. However, the Widow Mine does take one out.
Yeah, okay, well, at least he knows where that Widow Mine is, but he's given up a few probes and quite a bit of mining time to be able to pull this little rush off. So hopefully, for his sake, he can get something done with it.
Okay, Reaper unshades over here, but excuse me, the Adept unshades over here. But the Reaper's been microed pretty well, and he's still doing a good amount of damage to probes. 5 probe kills so far. Oracle probably going to come in here, try to go up into the upper left, maybe get some SCVs. Will the Marines be able to get over there in time? It looks like herO decides it's not worth it.
Man, in the meantime, having lost 5 probes, like he rushes to an Oracle, he sends across the map his 2 Adepts, and loses 5 probes, all this as well as mining time, doing no damage.
Yeah. So far, so good here. herO now going to take a third base. This is a pretty quick third, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think this is not a bad idea at all, because with 2 Oracles out here, Terran really can't leave. And look at this. Perfect punishment of the fact that the Marines are split to cover 2 areas. He knows he can actually engage those Marines head-on with 2 Oracles. Now he comes in here taking out a few SCVs. This is exactly what herO needs to be doing.
Yeah, if he can just continually harass with these and not lose them, that third base should have plenty of time to get up and actually be mining. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I just got done saying he can't do that. Really, really painful to lose an Oracle in this situation. If a big attack comes over, if ByuN actually leaves his base with all his units, how do you hold on against that? He's got like 1 ground unit. He's about to have like 1 or 2 Phoenixes and a hurt Oracle. It's like, well, I don't...
You know, I really can't emphasize how much stronger 2 Oracles are than 1.
Yeah, it's over twice as much, actually.
Yeah, it's crazy because they kill things at such a fast rate that there's so many things that Terran can't do.
Yeah.
If you have 2, but knocking that back down to 1, especially when Protoss is going into what looks like Adept Phoenix, basically, at least for the time being, it's not good. You really do need those 2 Oracles to stay alive the whole game. And it's this fundamental struggle that Protoss have right now, because Widow Mines can be placed anywhere, and there's not really an easy way, especially with the speed in which an Oracle's moving.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that when Oracles go in there, they're not just trying to kill whatever they can find. They're actually on a mission to kill SCVs. Whoa!
You gotta be kidding me.
Whoa!
Actually tagged the mineral line to try to find it, to pick it up
Yeah,
for the Phoenixes. And then while he was like kind of looking at the mineral line, the mine hit him from behind. Just a very nice mine placing.
Well, this highlights exactly what I was talking about. Is Protoss know that there are going to be mines hidden there, and Terrans are getting better and better and better, by the way, at figuring out good spots to hide the mines. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they a lot of times it is on these random places on the very edge now. This was like not the way it was before, but there's like a shifting meta of where to put these mines.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Like
at first it was right in the mineral line, and then it was like, wait a minute, we can put this above the refinery.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, put it in a weird spot. God,
another hit. That is like 3-4 hits so far. Oh my God, he tags the other 2, but Marines are there to save him. ByuN
is so good.
He's just outplaying herO this game, man.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, is that, you know, I feel like watching herO try to fly around with these Phoenixes and Oracles, it's like watching herO try to grab a cactus over and over. You know, he just cannot get too close, because ByuN does bite back.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously it's just a fundamental problem for Protoss, but you know, their units don't heal HP. So every mistake you make like this, going into mines, it starts to stack up. When you see the big battle at the end of the game, it could have looked completely different if everything had full HP.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on top of that, how much damage has he actually done with his harassment? Like, he was supposed to do at least a little bit, but very tough situation. Okay, now we're going to have the actual fight. Good.
Here we go! He moves in the Adept Shade. Right now, Phoenix is taking out that Liberator. You can see ByuN trying to micro that and stem down those Phoenixes, but he does manage, here in this case, herO does manage to actually win that fight. And we have more Adepts warping in our toes as he's going for the jugular.
He certainly is. That +1 Phoenix attack almost done as well. Shading past this army now, does have to cancel too many units up there, but herO is ready now to pounce. He found ByuN in a situation where he could whittle down a lot of units, and now he's trying to be aggressive. But look at this, taking a 4th base.
herO's crazy, man.
He really is.
He's taking a 4th base, and he's got a proxied gateway while still just going Phoenix Adept. I really like this. I'm not sure if this works, because we don't normally see people kind of expand at this rate and then be doing this. So I believe this has to be canceled, but let's see here. Is he going to just try to shade in there?
No, he absolutely cannot say that Nexus. You just have to cancel it off. And taking a 4th base on this map is hard against Terran anyways. ByuN, of course, not going to let that occur. Making his own 3rd command center right now as
hold up,
Shades
hold up.
Down.
He's going to go in for it, and he's doing some pickups here, getting these mines right now. Adepts mowing down these infantry as the Phoenix, the one lone Phoenix, is going to be hitting these Liberators. Sick. He actually unloads again.
Yeah, this is
so
great,
crazy.
actually. He's like trying to stay away from the Adepts, but protect the Liberators here from the Phoenixes.
I think he just messed up with his shading. Did you see that? Oh, just like shade. He just shaded away up there. That was not. This is really bad because I think herO could have actually won this fight.
Is he just going to counterattack right now?
Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think it is because ByuN just keeps picking up. He doesn't have any Phoenixes left to kill the Liberators, so as long as ByuN picks up, if he's under Liberation Zone, it works out.
All right, he's hitting that bunker, and he's going to be able to shade just by where those Liberators are now, unloading on these SCVs. Liberators being microed over here to the side. Liberation Zones have been set up, as well as a lot of Widow Mines.
Oh, man. herO is trying to get something done right now.
By the way, herO's on 2 bases here, whereas and ByuN's lost a good amount of workers, 7 so far. Actually, let me just check the whole worker count here. It's 39 for ByuN, 56 for herO. And now herO's trying to remake that 3rd base.
Yeah, you know, I think the big problem here is just how technical ByuN's army is really getting. He's got a lot of Marines and Marauders. He's got Widow Mines. He's got Medevacs and Liberators. And this is just Adepts and some Stalkers.
Okay, the Adepts shade in. These Stalkers now hitting those Liberators. herO playing like a crazy guy over here. Now coming in. Looks like he's going to be able to gun down that last. No, he's not able to gun down that last Medevac. But Terran's now been zoned out of his base back home. Let's see if he has a defense to hold off this counterattack.
Oh my God, is he gonna go through and break now after all that with 4 Widow Mines down there? I don't know if it's gonna work out. Another Widow Mine is not going off. It does hit those Adepts. A ton of damage being done right now to his army, but he is killing off quite a few SCVs.
I think herO's overextended again. This has kind of been the story of herO, is actually overextending into the Terran's natural. You know, he definitely had the setup here to try to fight this off. If Terran didn't have a wall in like this, and all these things to interfere with the movement of the Adepts, it might have been a different story, but now the last 2 Adepts are picked off, and I think there's definitely going to be a counterattack from ByuN inbound. We even saw herO cocking his head from side to side, as I think he's realizing that even though strategically he's been pretty smart for a lot of these, some of his tactical engages he just should not have even done.
Oh, God, and the new Oracle just goes down immediately. Everything going wrong.
Look at that, 2 hands off the keyboard.
He just, well, he's frustrated.
This is not a look mom, no hands moment. This is, that is like, he knows the car is going to crash, so he already took his hands off the driving wheel here. Things are slowly falling apart here for herO. And it's unfortunate because I think these are actually some of the better games we've seen herO play, but ByuN is just too stable.
Yeah, he's looking like way, way too strong in this series. And
yeah,
I don't think that there's even a way for herO to do it, despite the fact that he's killed off countless SCVs and has a stronger economy. This army is getting so scary, and every time the counterattack comes up, he just... ByuN's army gets stronger and stronger.
Well, yeah, and I mean, with herO going for Phoenix Adept, you don't have enough complexity later on in the game to usually pull through with a win. So the fact that we have more and more Liberators, and especially Widow Mines coming into play, that can eventually just counter Phoenix Adept. That's why a lot of Protosses, when you do see them win with this, they've won a little bit ago.
Yeah, that's very, very true about that. Like this, the later you get into the game, the Terran army looks more like this, and the Protoss army looks the same.
Yeah.
And that is not a way that you're likely to win a long macro game. But, well, I guess we can't really call this a macro game yet. Finally, ByuN does have a 3rd CC down at 3rd base, but no SCVs there.
And one of the other problems is it's hard to shade on top of this. I mean, Widow Mines are going to punish proper shading, and even though shades seem like they last for a while, it's not easy to split up that many Adepts and get into a good position here. And it looks like ByuN now going to close in here, taking out so many Adepts before they manage to escape. That army here for herO is beginning to thin out.
Okay, it has some sentries in here now as well. It has those Void Rays that can kill Liberators very, very quickly. So maybe he can get something done, but this careful mine spreading is just fantastic from ByuN.
ByuN, really exhibiting why he was a GSL Code S champion, and that's going to be it. GG, nicely done there by ByuN. He's too solid. I feel like we're watching one of these amazing tightrope walking.
Yeah.
People that can juggle and not fall off no matter what you do. Basically herO's there shaking the rope.
Yeah.
And ByuN's there with the long staff, and he just will not fall off.
No, he's basically Terran on wire. It's crazy.
Yeah, Terran on wire here. That's what this guy is.
Got to make a documentary about this guy.
That's right.
He's just that good.
And you could see herO so visibly frustrated, and you know what? Understandably so, because I thought he did a lot of smart plays back there. But no matter how many genius moves you're pulling off, if you're not engaging at the right time, if you're not defending properly, you're probably going to lose the game, especially against ByuN, who is fancy in the sense of how he engages, but really he's just like wax on, wax off, continuously deflecting what herO's doing and saying, how about we play a normal game, herO?
Yeah.
And herO's going, no!
Yeah, he doesn't want any part of a normal game against ByuN here today.
Yeah.
And, well, he didn't get any, but he also kind of got destroyed 2-0.
Nicely done. Let's go ahead and throw it over to Claris at the analysis desk.